Zen, how you doing?
I'm doing great, yeah. Well, and
Doing
yourself?
great. How's the Amsterdam weather?
The weather is pretty terrible, I have to say. It's raining like every day. Yeah.
Actually, what season are you guys in that time?
It's coming to like winter, so we're in autumn. Very
Oh,
like wet. Not so cold yet, but yeah, we're gonna get to winter in December.
and when was your last visit this side?
I actually last visited in June, the end of June. I went to the Makanda Jazz Festival and I spent some time at home in Cape Town as well. But
Oh,
yeah, I was here for like June till August in South Africa.
so
Yeah.
you left our winter to go join their winter.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb. Next year I'll plan better.
Yeah, it's actually been horrible so far. The last week it's been raining every single day. Well, in Joburg at least.
I visited Joburg for a bit actually when I was in South Africa.
Is it? Is
Yeah, I did.
I know you had a show, the Future Kwela. Did you host it? It was in Cape Town, right?
Yeah, I was in Cape Town and I did a show in Jersey as well.
Is it your own show?
Yeah, my own show, Future Kwela.
Oh, so Future Kwela did Cape Town and Joburg. Where in Joburg were you?
I was at Chiesa,
Oh, that's
Brampton.
I actually caught you at well, not caught you, but saw you in Makanda in
Oh,
June.
really?
Yeah, I was there with a crew of mine, and we were walking around with the camera. If ever you saw people with cameras taking
Oh,
pictures,
yeah.
that was my crew.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we were busy there. But yeah, I guess we can somewhat just start our conversation on that. Well, maybe a brief introduction to perhaps an audience member who's not familiar necessarily with you and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a musician, bass player from Cape Town, who studied at UCT for a bit and has just been playing around Cape Town. And yeah, my background, I guess, is in jazz because I studied under like a jazz legend from the Netherlands, actually, funnily enough. Double bass player called Hein van der Geijn, and he taught me. And then I went to UCT. I started playing like all these, like, I guess, shows and stuff, and just collaborating with a lot of different musicians in Cape Town. And then, yeah, well, this last year, I guess I've been forming my own band and playing some of my original music. And now I'm actually studying in Amsterdam. I got into the conservatory in the city center, and I just wanted to come here to like also just like broaden my horizons and like bring a lot of sort of African flavor to Europe, because I've got this other group here and we've been playing South African music and some original compositions here in Amsterdam.
There's people you met that side.
No, it's actually a group of South African musicians. Well, that's the core of the band. The rest are like internationals. But we formed a group. This trumpet player is a bit older than me, James McClure, called Sophia, and we've been like playing a lot of shows around Amsterdam and just playing South African music, and it's been great.
How's the scene actually that side? From a well, I don't want to call it gigging because in jazz it's not necessarily gigging, but well, it is. How's the scene from a gigging perspective?
It's really like good because
Yeah.
I mean Amsterdam, the city is kind of like very rich, so
Sure.
there's a lot of money being like actually funded for arts, not just like music really, but like all sorts of art forms, and everyone loves it in Amsterdam, and it's like flourishing. There's like anything artistic, so there's a lot of venues and a lot of opportunities to be heard and like get to a wide audience.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, well, you're from Cape Town. I guess it's a bit different in Cape Town because I think Cape Town has a good jazz audience. But for us this side, for one, venues far and few, but also the
Yeah.
audience. Sometimes you just feel like you need to look for a jazz audience. It's not necessarily just there, you know.
Yeah, I also heard that from a friend of mine, Cabello,
Yeah,
boy Mokatla, yeah.
yeah. So
He decided to basically like, he's a jazz drummer. I don't know if you know him. Yeah, he's studying in Manhattan as well, in New York. But like, he decided to do his album launch tour in Cape Town because there were like so many more venues to play at and a lot bigger audience. He didn't want to do it in Johannesburg, so I was playing with him in that band, and we were just, yeah, there were lots of venues in Cape Town actually who like jazz, or like, I don't know, there's a lot more options closer together. I know Josie's like spread apart as well.
yeah, I think from a venue perspective, because I think I'd like to think if the venues are there, then the audience will find its way there. So I think from a Jersey perspective, it's more the venues that we don't have, not necessarily that we don't have jazz listeners this side.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, Josie would have like a good audience. Like when I played in Josie, I was quite nervous because it was like a different audience.
Yeah,
And like, I don't know, people, they interpret, or like they, just a different thing coming from Cape Town, but the audience is definitely there, and they're like, I guess, engaged, but maybe the spaces are not.
yeah. Actually, if you think of it, also from an artist perspective, you guys in Cape Town seem to have a better click, if I can call it that. The artists in Cape Town, you guys go to each other's shows. You there, you know, you know this other Cape Town jazz artist. Whereas in
Yeah,
Joburg, it's a bit more spread out. And also our jazz artists are not necessarily only jazz artists. From a purist perspective, we're not only
yeah,
jazz artists. It's a bit different in that sense.
yeah, that is true. Like, there is quite a, I mean, there's a big like jazz community in Cape Town, and like kind of everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
Like we always see each other, and we run into each other a lot because like venues are close together, and like, yeah, there is kind of like a mutual appreciation amongst, yeah, just the musicians.
But also just the culture created by you guys having the university there and
Yeah,
it having such a big jazz presence.
yeah, that, I mean, that's like partly one of the reasons why I went to UCT, because it was just like all the musicians were just like, if you went to UCT, you'd know about all the jazz music that's happening in Cape Town, and like they were all like kind of connected to UCT. So there is definitely like a thing with that. Like most of the jazz musicians, unless they come from outside, are from like, or associated with UCT in some way.
It's a solid community in UCT. I want to touch before we speak on, well, there's a lot to speak on, but I want to start firstly with the instrument that you play, because you play the bass. And what often happens with bass players is you guys don't only play the double bass, you also play the bass guitar.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I get it. It's both bass, but why is this always the case? And how easy does it come for you to move from a bass guitar to a bass to a double bass?
It's like it's like a sibling, that instrument. It's like, you know how to play it. It's like transferable, but there's just different aspects about it. Like, I think that's why a lot of bass players go for both, because you can figure out what you can play on electric bass to what you can play on double bass, and like it's just an adaptation. So I think it's not that difficult, but man, the double bass instrument, I need to practice a lot to like get get going, like tuning, and it's not an easy instrument, but I mean, I think it's a great sounding instrument, and a lot of jazz requires double bass.
Yeah.
And I think all bass players, or maybe if you want to specialize, but most bass players I know, like even in Cape Town, they like to play both because of the versatility, and it's not like learning a completely different instrument.
I mean,
Saxophone or something.
You were trained in double bass, right? You play the double bass, and you say you find it easy to play a bass guitar. But I wouldn't think the transition for a bass guitar player, for instance, to a double bass will be as simple.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, if you're going around that way, it's always going to be a lot harder, because I can't, like, the electric bass is kind of easier to play. And like, I mean, if you start on electric, you learn sort of the techniques, but double bass as a whole, like your hand needs to be in a very good technique position, and it requires a lot more like leg work to get anywhere if you're going about it that direction.
And you speak on how a lot of jazz standards kind of need, well, inclusive of the bass. Maybe just for you as a person who plays the bass, maybe just let us understand a bit better why for you it's a significant instrument and why this choice of instrument. A lot of people always, we always speak of the bass line and how the bass kind of sets the tune for compositions. But as a person who plays the bass, why this choice of instrument for you?
I mean, for me, it's always been like, I've always been attracted to like the bass frequency, and like, but also just the kind of fundamental value of like a bass. Like, I was chatting with my friend, like, all a song really needs for you to understand it is like a melody and a bass line. And then you, like, if that's written out on music paper, that can tell you everything. It can tell you about the chords, can tell you about the whole song. And like, bass line is like the fundamental part of harmony. And like, I guess I compose a lot on the bass, with like the whole picture in mind, because you can like, you understand everything, like the harmonic side and the rhythmic side, and you can like really, I think it's the best vantage point in the band for like knowing what's going on. A good bass player, I think, has bass.
Yeah. How long have you been playing the bass now?
I've been playing like 10 years, maybe.
Is it?
Yeah. I started on guitar, but I play bass properly.
Oh, you played guitar before bass?
Yeah, guitar.
And playing bass, was it because you felt you wanted to venture into a jazz space necessarily, or it was just more an interest in the instrument itself?
No, yeah, it was more interest in the instrument. Like, I didn't start out liking jazz. I liked like pop and rock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I found jazz, and I guess I just was playing the bass, and I just liked jazz a lot because it was a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen because of jazz.
I guess it's just the ability to compose. That's what I've gotten from a lot of jazz artists that I speak to. They like the fact that jazz is so multi-layered. It feels more like a challenge. I'm not an artist. I don't know what you guys get excited. But it seems like you guys enjoy jazz because it allows you that opportunity to just explore the music, explore the sound.
Yeah, it's such a a nice vehicle for it's not really I like it because it's not so locked in like a lot of genres, and you can be free to kind of I guess it's just the sense of improvisation which I really like about it.
Yeah.
If I get given a sheet of music with chord letters and not written I have to play this exactly bass line, I prefer to just play with improvising around not given specific instructions, so you can compose stuff on the spot, and it gives you that freedom, jazz, instead of where you must just play this part exactly right kind of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, for you as a player of a certain instrument, I guess then I guess I can imagine also once you get to UCT, you then learn of other bass players, you exposed to other bass players. Do you have any people who you'd say stood out for you in terms of your learning journey as a bass player?
Yeah, I mean, there's the ones that I just listen to on recordings, and there's the ones that are actually around me. I guess the bass players who inspired me, or who I met along the way, are just actually a lot of my friends. When I was at UCT, I was hanging with Joshua and Amira, is another great bass player in Cape Town. And I guess there was a sort of, yeah, I mean, there was people, my teacher, Sean Johannes, he also showed me a lot about the instrument. And also, of course, the main influence for me was Hein, bass teacher, and he kind of taught me a lot about the instrument and music in general, I guess.
Yeah.
And then there's also recordings which I've been exposed to, which have kind of changed the way I think about the bass and music. And yeah, there's other people bass players who inspired me, like Jaco Pastorius. Yeah, there's a lot more.
Yeah, we spoke a bit about Future Kwela, and I mean, Future Kwela was your show, and I imagine it was your own original compositions. How easy have you found that? Because I imagine composing is a continuous skill. You continuously trying to improve on your compositions.
Yeah.
But just how has that been, trying to get to composing music of your own?
That's been a continuous thing. I mean, I've been composing for a very long time, but I guess it's over a couple of years of just being making stuff and refining. It's interesting to see how a song starts, and then over time you gain more knowledge and you can look at that with new eyes and then adapt it and make it better. And then I guess with the Future Kwela thing, that was just at a point where I'd written a lot of songs that I really and I thought were good enough, I guess, to play. And I just wanted to try them out and put them in a certain context.
Yeah, and I mean, Future Kwela. Well, firstly, the name is there's definitely something there, but from a show perspective, um, how do you move from? I get the whole, you have bunch of compositions that you have ready, but moving it to a show format as opposed to maybe putting those compositions to an album or an LP. How do you get to the decision that the best way to release this, or to this, the best step to take at that moment, is a show?
Because that's interesting you say that, because I felt that I wanted to try it out live first and then see how I felt about it.
Okay.
That's the reason why I did it in that format. I mean, obviously, like, recording is also a very big thing, which I've gotten into a bit, and but I considered that and then just thought about it, like, to do it, feel how it feels for an audience, and then put it out as a second thing, like, just to see how it, like a test run almost.
I guess also that helps you because now you're playing it live alongside band members, and I guess that is also part of your continuous adapting of the composition, because now you hear it differently. You're hearing it live, and you also see how we as an audience react to it.
Yeah, of course. That's like, I mean, because it's a very, like, personal thing to write, like, compositions, and you, like, for me, I guess, in composing them, I was the one, like, saying whether I liked it or not, but that's not the only thing that's important. I wanted to see how, like, other people responded to something I thought was had value, and then I can make, like, my assessment of that.
And because
test screening kind of thing.
Because composing, like you say, is a personal thing. It's quite personal. It means also you need to be careful with the people you choose to be your band members, right?
Oh yeah, that's one of the most important things for me.
So how was your experience with Future Kwela? Who did you play alongside, and how would you say the reaction was? Because I'm basically telling us that the result of you recording or not is dependent on how those show went. So how did that go?
No, I mean, it went great.
Yeah.
Like it was people were asking me where's the album, which is, like, it's nice. It's nice to hear that and kind of reassure myself about the compositions. But it was also nice just to, like, feel that live atmosphere, like the instant, like, reactions if people are engaged to, like, the music, which is a nice feeling. And I wasn't, like, too precious about it. I just wanted to, like, but in the recording process I want to be quite precious, but just to play it live, get those, like, energy from the audience, a nice feedback.
That is important. I think also because people don't realize that when you get to a recording environment, it might not come across as initially composed, because there's a lot that goes into recording. There's a lot of piecing together to get to the final product. So live, but also you can also record a live albums, and you can get us a live recorded album.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I've recorded all of my shows I did. I actually got a friend to record them. I've just been listening back to them, but that's also, like, a possibility.
A live album.
A live album.
Live album. Future Kwela, the name is very layered. How did you get to Future Kwela as a name? What was going through your mind at that point?
It was kind of like a concept I'd been thinking about for a very long time, about, like, just looking at personal, like, inspiration. I guess a lot of jazz music maybe is focusing on America and New York and stuff, which is great, but, like, South Africa is very rich with a lot of different, like, grooves and music, and I don't know, for me, I feel that that's where I want to go into and, like, reimagine a lot of these old styles. Like Kwela is a style that was born out of, like, umbaqanga kind of music, and it was like a new genre in the townships in like Soweto, and yeah, it was quite a important part of South African history. But like that music wasn't really recorded with much love and attention during apartheid. And like I've just been like in my own compositions been like trying to play these grooves from around South Africa and Africa as well as a whole, but trying to incorporate them into my compositions in like a fresh way, but like almost like acknowledging the past and trying to like bring about something new, and also taking influences from like modern music, like the music that's happening right now, like hip hop and rap, and like I don't know, just considering where we are currently, but also with like inspiration. Like the set is kind of almost a homage to all of the like great composers, I guess, of Africa, from South Africa, like my influences, and like just trying to showcase some different kinds of grooves. Like, so that's why Future Kwela, it's such a specific type of music, and yeah, there's some Kwela reimagined grooves in that kind of.
I think it's super important because we in a jazz space we have a very unique sound. When you speak of South African jazz sound, it's very unique, and it means we need to stick to that, to stay true to what we now call a South African jazz sound.
Yeah, exactly. And like I feel like everyone kind of has a certain understanding of South African music, like just there's certain people like Huma Sakela and Abdullah Ibrahim and Bekim Seleku and Moses Molelekwa, like those guys are like the foundation and like the history of this country, and they're big, and then everyone can kind of identify with like music in a association with that, and like is passed down from generations, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that is super important, and I think as a young person, it's also even better to know that we are still acknowledging the ground layers of the sound that we now play around with. Yeah,
that's exactly it. Kind of like great. Yeah, just acknowledging the past.
Yeah, and I think particularly at the moment, you are a young person in the jazz space, and I think probably now more than ever, I think our local jazz is being held by the young people. You know, we have a lot of young people who are doing extremely well. I mean, you're a different class of young, but I mean, if you look at the I don't want to call them the band leaders in the industry at the moment, but the guys who are doing extremely well, they are young people. You know, your Bokani Jayas are still fairly young. You have your Keenan Mayers who are young people in the space. You know, you have your Kakanes leading the way. You have your really young people leading the way, and I guess it's exciting also for you guys coming up, knowing that the people who are leading the way in the industry are people who are accessible. You know, they're not necessarily big old guys who you can't relate to. You know.
Yeah, that's such a good point, man. I didn't even touch on that, but that's also a big source of inspiration. Like the musicians who are active now, and the fact that like, especially at this Makanda festival, you can get an opportunity just to like kind of hang with people you admire but are not so far away from you. Like Benjamin Jefter and Kyle Shepard and like Spelelo Mazibuko, like all these guys, Shane Cooper, guys are
Darren English.
Darren English.
Yeah.
It's good to like have a connection with that. I think it's very important just to see, and Bokani Da, of course, and also Mandla Mlangeni, big one.
Yeah.
Like, it's great to see that, and also be able to get a chance to chat with them and like just ask for advice and just have a good kind of community sense. I was chatting about that with Benjamin Jefter, like that relation with the older generation is changing in this modern like music landscape.
It's great to watch, particularly for a person like me who isn't necessarily a person in the industry, but being exposed to what happens in Makanda and just that interaction. You know, you have the really young kids who are there for the youth band, right? And you have guys, you have guys who are in varsity who are pretty much going to be the people leading the industry in a couple of years' time. But also you have those guys coming to perform in the shows, your Benjamins and so forth, who are right there. You know, you guys get to interact. It's like a passing on of the baton. They're right there. You can ask them whatever you want to ask them. It's brilliant. And I'm not sure if it's always been like that, but it's motivating, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think especially in South Africa, there's always been a kind of culture of like trying to like the elders teach the younger people how to do it, and like, or just kind of show them the ropes. And there's that kind of mentorship involved in a lot of music, and just to like keep that going is nice to see that and be a part of that. That knowledge that's passed down, like, because they probably got like a good grounding from people who are older than them.
Yeah. Those are guys who were exposed to, now you speak one to do the marketing. So it's just it's a passing down of the sound also, if you want to think of it in that sense. If we're going to preserve the South African jazz sound, we need this interactions. You know, you're going to speak to the guys who've gotten this knowledge passed down to them. And with every passing down, you guys are just bringing your own interpretation of this sound that's been passed down.
Yeah, I think it's also like a good thing to like be able to seek out these people. I mean, they're out there like in the scene, but as like musicians, I think it's quite important. Like younger musicians always kind of like try and find your like heroes that you admire so much, and just like get a chance to have access to them in person. And then like that's a big thing about a lot of great musicians now. Like they were just inspired. Like Shane Cooper told me a story about Zim Ngawana, like him playing with him and like going all these crazy stories of like them playing for an enormous amount of hours, and just like I don't know, just having access to that. And like, was it Ayanda Sikade, amazing drummer, telling stories about Hugh, and it's really like important, I think.
Yeah, the proximity actually blows my mind, because now you're speaking of a Shane who played with Zimnawana and Ayanda who played with the U, and these are guys that you guys are now playing with. You know, you played with Shane, and that's just it's brilliant, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's great to have that, because then you really get like a first-hand experience of like what it must be like, you know, and then it's like more real for you.
Yeah, That's proper, man. That's really proper. Speak to me a bit about Amsterdam, because you're there, not to gig.
Yeah.
you're there you're there for school. How's the experience been so far?
I mean, the first year was definitely a adaptation year where I was just adapting to my new surroundings and getting accustomed to the way Dutch people operate and
Yeah,
all the visa, all that admin work just to get anywhere.
sure.
But it's been like amazing. Like the degree I'm doing and the school I'm at is such a good space to be in. This I'm surrounded by incredible musicians all over, and it's really inspiring and like motivating for me now. Just trying to kind of hone my craft, but also like I'm not just here to study. Like that was
Yeah,
a big thing about moving out this side. I want like, well, I am actually playing some shows. One coming up, which I'm really excited about, is we're playing at this venue called the BIM House, which is like um, a world-renowned venue, and there's like video. It's just quite a big venue and like well established. So I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity if I wasn't here to play a gig with my band Sophia. Yeah, so it's been great so far. I mean, the weather's a bit not so nice, but like the music part of it has been like improving me. That's why I came here.
yeah. And I will say this: if ever there's one thing that the current crop of jazz artists we have is doing extremely well in, is this branching out. You know, we've always had artists go abroad and try and explore different opportunities, but I think at the moment you guys are doing exceptionally well because you constantly challenging yourselves and not allowing yourselves to be comfortable in whatever space you find yourself in. So that's extremely impressive.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I'm trying to push myself more, just to, and also just to like find new spaces to play music in and like learn more about the world and get myself into context with where I am situated. And I think I feel very lucky to have this opportunity to be doing that. I mean, it's not like an easy thing, but I think it's quite rewarding for us musicians who are overseas.
Yeah, man, that's impressive. I mean, so I'm going to be having a chat with John Strauss, who's also abroad. I'm going to be talking with Ofensa Sibula, who released a project couple of years back when he was still a student as well. So you guys are really breaking the boundaries, you know.
Yeah, those are great people over there. I know them all, and they're very like I guess there's a common thing of they're really kind of taking their craft quite seriously and wanting to kind of push it as far as they can go. I guess that's a common thing, and it's nice to see that amongst my friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's a jazz thing. Also, you grow together. If you could see the interactions between Abolelo and your Benjis and those guys, you can tell that it's people who grew up together, and I can see that already in you guys. You know, you guys are you're growing up together, basically.
Yeah, and it's nice that we kind of all know each other. Like, I can be in contact with Cabello and Jean and Lebo, and it's just really like nice to see that amongst like people I've known and seen for like a few years. And we have kind of grown up together, and just grown better together, which is nice. But
Yeah,
just got
man.
like it's nice to see that with your peers, like evolution, like
Yeah.
from like knowing them.
No, man, that's great. I guess it's exactly that. We need to encourage that because again, it goes back to growing the sound and growing the reach of our sound as well. Because it's one thing to say we have a sound locally, but it needs to be heard, and you guys are allowing us, well, allowing the world to hear the sound through you guys' curiosity and just this willingness to explore and be all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, we all are really excited about playing music as well, like getting the opportunity to play. And I guess we all just have that thing of trying to push ourselves and like push each other when we get a chance to play with each other as well. And yeah, that common denominators are with all of them, which is nice.
Yeah, man, and this I think has been a great chat. And I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for your journey that side. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see you grow and hopefully one day get back to us and give us a killer show. But I'm even more excited for an album. I'm not gonna be
Yeah, that's
one of the
gonna work.
people pushing you for an album, but yeah, please, we need that album. Um, yeah, man. I hope you're also encouraged, by the opportunity that you say you have been there, and just hopefully that builds you into wanting to do even more, for us this side.
Yeah, 100%. I'll be back for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
And
no, man.
yeah, we just moving out here. We like
Yeah, I mean, what more can we do? We just gotta give our best and
yeah,
see where it
exactly.
gets us. Yeah, no, man. Thanks for the chat, and hopefully you have a great one that side. Yeah, hopefully we'll link up once you're back this side.